Let me get started. Let me get started.
Children will.
Oh man, they won't even let me go live on YouTube, on Instagram. That's crazy. What's up, y'all? Let me go ahead and do this real quick. Let me just Hey y'all, what's up? Hold on. Hold on, YouTube. I'm trying to What's up? Hey y'all, what's up? Hey y'all, what's up? Hey y'all, what's up? My bad, YouTube. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hey, what's up, you guys? They got me blocked on my main page for something. They said videos have been removed. I don't know. Somebody reported my comment yesterday. But anyway, I'm going on to He Is Free Blanche. That is He Is Free Blanche. And that's my other Instagram page. All right. Hey, what's up, you guys? They got me blocked on. What's up? What's going on? I don't know why I can't do this. This is just, I want to add some text to this. Y'all gotta forgive me. My bad, y'all. I'm just blocked on this account. Blocked on this account. I don't even know why.
Damn, girl, you got some beautiful lips. You should see the other one. Huh? Huh? Damn, girl, you got some beautiful lips. You should see.
So let me do this. Yep. Okay, so I gotta log out of this one. For my itchy throat. Let me go to settings. Let me log out. Let me log out. Now I'm gonna just log into He Is Free Blanche. Okay. Okay, let me go live on this one. You know. I don't know who's gonna even see the live that I'm on live with He Is Free Blanche, but I'm gonna just go ahead and get started. So yesterday, someone came on my page and they were talking about the video I did that was about Mitch McConnell. And, you know, they came onto the onto my page and they were basically trying to say that I should follow this guy that's a convicted child molester. He's serving 100 and some years in prison for child molestation. And the crazy thing is the person that was telling me to follow this person only reported me after I said that I'm looking at you crazy for supporting somebody like that. They reported my comment, and then next thing I know, I get a message from Instagram, and then now I can't go live. But it's crazy, man. Like it's crazy. So I don't know how even to tell people to even follow me on this. He is Free Blanche Live, but whatever. So I'm just gonna do the live anyway. But basically, I want to talk about this event I went to, Defeat the Mandates in DC, and I want to talk about, you know, the actual event, and basically, I want to say it's trying to get off social media. Yeah, man, it's crazy because the person basically was coming on my page and I literally responded with facts because the person he was talking about is literally serving 120 some years for, you know, molesting children. Like literally, like he's serving 120 some years. Multiple children came forward, multiple adults. Like it wasn't just one accusation. It was, I think some young ladies were pregnant. Like it was crazy. But anyway, they look up to this guy, Malachi York. They look up to this guy and as some kind of godlike figure or whatever. But you know, it was crazy. But anyway, so good morning, Natalia. So anyway, the person reports my comment. And if you read the comment, you don't have context because you don't see what this person has typed paragraphs before, all kind of, but anyway, this is the problem with social media. And this is the problem with the world. And basically like the world, we're at a point now where, you know, they just empower, the degenerates and the scumbags. You know, they just empower the degenerates and the scumbags. You know, they empower the deplorable. Like this person is supporting a child molester, and you take his report of my comment. Like it's insane. Like it's insane. But it lets you know where the world is actually headed. But anyway, I went to the Defeat the Mandates thing in New York, and I don't know if this is even sharing on my Instagram, honestly. If it's even sharing over here. But the event really showed what was to come. And it actually shows that history is going to repeat itself, but this time it's going to be literally just good versus evil. It's not going to be based on political affiliation, based on race, based on religion, based on social status, based on any of that. It's going to literally be good versus evil. And that's where we're literally headed to. And so when I went to this event, you look at the crowd was literally filled with everybody. We're talking about Jews, Christians, Moors, Catholics, I guess indigenous, black, Caucasian, handicapped, athletes, entertainers, literally every walk of life. It was just a diverse crowd. But that should let you know that what we've seen in the past has been orchestrated. And I'll tell you why, because what we've seen in the past has been based on division. It's been based on, think about it. In the past, it was based on black versus white. It was based on workers versus corporations. It was based on men and women. It was based, like, so you notice in the past, all the movements were actually orchestrated because they were still based on division. This movement here is everybody against evil. It's the people on the bottom against the folks on the top. So this is not something that's, this is organic. Like, this is like doctors, scientists, lawyers, businessmen, politicians. It's so diverse to where the media won't even cover it. Like, the mainstream media can't even give you the image of something like that, And again, I go back to look at who society is imploring. Society is imploring the scumbags and degenerates. This person is defending a child molester. I'm saying that they're sick, and they report me, and my stuff gets taken down. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane, but it lets you know that all of this stuff is wicked. All of this stuff is totally wicked. Even think about if you look at even Jeezy and his wife, that lady, are having, I don't know her name, but they're having a child, and they're already saying that their child won't have a gender. Like, they're already like, Jeezy's supposed to be a gangster, but look, he's already sold out. Now listen, he didn't sell out when he was selling dope to his people. He didn't sell, he didn't sell out when he was speaking against his, telling his people to sell drugs and promoting violence and all this. And then right when he gets to this point, now he's saying that his children won't have a gender. This is Jeezy. This is Trap or Die Jeezy. Now he's saying his child won't have a gender. But it just lets you know that all these folks we've seen, none of them have been real. Like, none of them. Like, all the movements have been fake. All the movements, they've all been fake. All of them. There hasn't been any organic movements. And when I say that because if you look now, ask yourself, who's going against what's going on? Ask yourself, who is going against what's going on if you just look. And so if you look, you'll see that 99.9% of the people are for it, which should let you know that all the past movements have been fake. Because this right here, what's going on now, literally encompasses a whole history of oppression against humanity. What's going on right now? They literally put everything together in one pot right now, and you don't see anybody going against it. So that's to let you know that all the stuff in the past was fake. And what's up, Tamara? And I know that might sound far-fetched to people, but all of it was fake. All of it was fake. So, but defeat the mandates, literally, we saw all walks of life. So much to the point where the media didn't even want to show it. The media did not even want to show it because they know they can't give you an image of the people that they're telling you that are racist standing next to someone like me. You know how many folks came up to me and talked to me that I didn't know who they were and were of all nationalities? Came up and said, oh, I follow you on Instagram. Oh, I follow you on social media. We love you. Like, so many walks of life came up to me. Like, but the media can't show you this because the media wants you to believe that every person that doesn't look like you, Caucasian, is white. I mean, is racist. But they never tell you that Jewish people are racist, just white people. Think about that. They never tell you that Jewish people are racist, but they were part of the slave trade. They own all the media corporations. They own all the corporations. They own everything. So how, if there's a system in place, how are they not held accountable? But that just lets you know how crazy the media is. It lets you know that They got you pointing, looking at white people, and they own everything. It's insane. But it also should let you know that none of the movements have been real. None of them have been real. And so in DC, when I was there, I just saw all walks of life. All walks. All walks of life. Everybody coming together for the same cause. So the media just gives you a headline, anti-jab, Trump supporter. That's it. And so the average person says, oh, that's it. Because the average person really doesn't want to think. The average person really doesn't want to have to think. The average person really doesn't want to have to think, you know? And I wish, I think I might just go and do it and cut this live off on Instagram and then just, I'm gonna keep talking to y'all though. But what was I gonna say? So there were people there protesting, and the funny thing is, the folks that were there protesting were protesting ignorance. Like they were protesting Trump. It was like, I'm like, this has absolutely nothing to do with Trump. Like, I mean, literally, this has absolutely nothing to do with Trump. Nothing.
Children will not.
I'm gonna just put this up right now. I want to add to my stories. What was I saying? Yeah, so they were there talking about Trump. And I'm like, it's doctors upon doctor, upon lawyer, upon nurse, upon medical, and nobody is mentioning Donald Trump. But the people protesting are talking about Donald Trump. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Brainwashed is 100% correct. Okay, okay, I did it. Okay, I did it. Sorry, YouTube. I just gotta I know they I know they had blocked my live. They didn't give me a warning or nothing. I just saw this girl give birth. I'm sorry. She just pushed the whole baby out. I was just tripping for a second. Okay, let me get back to my topic. I'm just logging out real quick, and then I'm just logging back in. Okay, now I'm back over here. Now we can really get started, YouTube. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, I mean, she just delivered she did like a water birth at home, and I just saw how the baby just shut out in the water. It's just like, it was crazy. But anyway, back to what I was saying. But it was amazing though how the baby just shot out, you know, in the water, and then she just grabbed the baby up. It was just like, it almost makes you think that all the births should be water births to me, because just the way the baby just, I don't know, it seemed like it was supposed to happen naturally in the water. You know, maybe that's why we have the baptism to represent like a new birth or something like that. But thank y'all for coming on here from my other page, you all. I'm just blocked on He Is Blanchard because somebody that was supporting a child molester reported my comment because I said they were soulless. I actually called them a soulless beast. But anyway, they reported my comment, and that's why my live got blocked. They said they were blocking videos, but it's just funny that they're blocking videos, but for what though? Like, they never tell you what they're doing it for. It's absolutely insane. But anyway, the Defeat the Mandates event in DC literally was something the media didn't want you to see, because it basically showed that there are people coming together when it comes to freedom. And that's really the whole thing. People are coming together, you know, when it comes to freedom. And they don't want to show you that. So the media just says words anti-jab and Trump supporter just to make the average person, you know, say, okay, that's what it is. But I'm going to tell you this too as a side note. The people that I've known for years, thank you, Heather. Oh, what's up, Easy? Yeah, I'm like, but it's from the comments though. So what they'll do is you'll respond to somebody and they'll report your comment, and then they'll look at your comment and say, oh, this person violated this, and then they just do stupid stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, the person was literally supporting somebody that got convicted for 120-something years for child molestation. 120-something years. Do you know the amount of children you got to molest to get 120 years? Do you know the amount of children you got to molest to get 120-something years? And this person is defending this person, and I'm telling them y'all sick and crazy, and they report my comment, and then Instagram goes for it. So I got to send Instagram something when I get done doing this live. But anyway, there were all walks of life at this protest, and the people there protesting the protest were basically, and let me say this, the LGBTQP, don't read X, Y, Z community, they're going to usher in the New World Order, the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, and everything. Because when you listen to them talk about what's going on, they literally support they literally believe if you don't get this jab, you don't deserve to, you deserve to either die or be locked up. They literally believe that, literally. And it's absolutely insane. But I just want to say that, you know, the event was good to me because you saw, for once, people on the same accord. And as I said earlier in this live, that the people that were coming together were of all walks of life. This is how you know it's organic. Because you look out into the crowd, you don't just see one demographic of people. You see multiple. And I would also say that this movement, this new movement that we see now, is actually more intellectual too. This is not a dumb person's movement. Like, this is not just a movement just for dummies. Like, people that are going against this stuff, exactly. The one world religion is coming because next month they're going to launch the official religion of Chrislam. That's Christianity and Islam. Then they're going to combine Judaism. Then they're going to combine all the other religions. And you have one world religion. But they have to have a one world religion because they got to get you to buy into something, because they're going to show you something through that one world religion. They're going to show you, because the Antichrist is going to be a real figure, and so he's going to have to be worshipped. So they're going to have to prepare you for the Antichrist with a one world religion, because a one world religion is going to have a savior type figure. It's like the one world government's going to have a leader. But what you see now is that they're allowing the Pope to talk about all these issues. Like the Pope is at the forefront of climate change. So we already have a religious figure at the forefront of something that's going to destroy humanity, which is climate change. And then pretty soon, they're going to start censoring content that's going against climate change. That's next. Right now, they're not doing it because climate change isn't as popular as this Peter pandemic. But yeah, so we're going to one world religion. But in this case, about this movement, the media can't really show it because you have all walks of life in the movement. You have all walks of life, and so it's hard to sell a narrative when you have all demographics of people of all professions together talking about the same thing. You can't really sell division. That's why most of the other coalitions you see that are bringing folks together, they're always under the guise of racism. So it'll be like, okay, because of racism, let's come together. But still, the foundation of it is racism, which is still division. But this movement is about freedom. So, and actually, this thing wasn't even about anti-jab. It was about the mandates. Like, nobody even cares about the jabs or whatever you want to do. People concerned with the mandates because the mandates are taking away people's rights. You got to think, man, we went from 2 weeks to slow the spread to we're going on 3 years. So it should let you know that where we're headed is not a good place. Even though the courts are saying striking this stuff down, this lets you know how consumed people are with mainstream media. Even the people that say they're woke. Like, even the woke people are consumed with mainstream media. How do you know? Because even the people that say they know don't really know what's going on. They don't know. They don't know that the Supreme Court is going against this. They don't know that OSHA is not forcing the mandate. Like, they don't even know this stuff because the mainstream media is not even covering it. The average person watches mainstream media. The average person. I even hear people talk about, oh, January 6th. I'm like, January 6th? Like, people still believe it was real. I'm like, people still believe that police officers were actually killed. I'm like, dude, it was commit suicide, died of stroke, like heart attack, like it's just crazy. But somebody said it earlier on here, most people want to be fools. Or are fools. I would say that most people just lack, yeah, they're in the shade room. I would just say that most people lack character. Most people don't have any character. They don't have any character. That's all. Most people don't have any character. And so it comes across as ignorance. It comes across as stupidity. But because a person, so character is a tough decision to make. You got to make good. So character says, you know what? I'm going to do what's right simply because it's the right thing to do. That's character. I'm going to do what's right no matter who's looking. I'm going to do what's right no matter the consequence. That's character. Most people, you said no, but I said they are fools. No, well, yeah, I mean, no, listen. I'm not saying they're not fools or they're not even foolish. I'm saying that a lot of times a lack of character comes across as stupidity. It comes across as being dumb because, like, even now, right? They're telling people, most folks are making this decision not based on what the media is actually telling them. They're making a decision based on the consequence of not doing what the media is telling them to do. So most people are making a decision and say, you know what? What's up? Casually conservative. Most people are making a decision based on maybe losing their job, not being able to go on vacation, wanting to get back to normal. Like, those are the reasons folks are doing it. So it's not really out of ignorance or nothing like that, or even being foolish. It's really a lack of character. And I guess having like a character does make you a fool. So I guess they are synonymous. So a fool more than likely doesn't have any character. But to me, this stuff stems from like a character because what these people are doing this for isn't for about health. It's not about health at all. It's about, literally, it's about you getting your life back, and they'll never give it back. They literally have a carrot dangling in front of your face. And going to that event in DC, I just realized that this is never going to end, because now the fight against what's going on is a real movement. You got to think, I was there in DC, man. There were, listen, literally, Moors, Jews, Catholics, Christians, folks that called themselves the remnant, real believers, scientists, doctors, Nation of Islam, politicians, lawyers, teachers, construction workers, the handicapped, like literally people that were protesting there were even jabbed up. But the media is not going to show you this. Yeah, they blocked my main page. They somebody reported me yesterday because they were supporting a child molester, and I said they blocked me from going live. They were supporting a child molester, and I basically said, y'all, you crazy. The person they were supporting got 125 years for child molestation. So do you know? Do you know the amount of child molesting you have to do to get 125 years? It's absolutely insane. But I told them there was a soulless beast because they were supporting this person, and they reported my comment. And so, and I'm gonna add, the person that reported my comment looked just like me. The person that reported my comment looked just like me. I'm gonna tell y'all something. There was a video I did of the father with his daughter, 4-year-old daughter, was twerking on him. Remember that video? I was the only person that actually blurred the video out to where you couldn't see anything. Do you know they reported my post, and I see that same video up 1,000 times? That same video of that little girl twerking on her father is up 1,000 times on people's pages with more followers than me. But you know why they put mine down? Because in that video, I was talking about black culture. And I realized something. I realized one thing. Talking about black culture strikes a nerve because they use black culture to control us. So if you get rid of black culture, they don't have anything to control us with. And I realized that's why they took the video down, because I was linking how black culture accepts all kind of decadence and vulgar behavior in the name of supporting blackness. And so they took the video down and removed it, but the video is literally up. You can go look it up. That video, that little girl twerking on her father, is up everywhere. It's still up, but they took mine down, and mine was the only video that had the thing all blurred out where you couldn't see nothing. So this movement, the Defeat the Mandates, wasn't even about the jab. It wasn't even about Trump. It wasn't about anything the media was saying. It was literally about the people were saying, we don't care what y'all talking about, just don't do the mandates. Just don't do the mandates. You right, casually conservative. Black people hate the facts, but despise the truth. We as a people in a community, I'm not even saying we're black, we as a people hate the facts, but despise the truth. When I say despise the truth, I had somebody tell me that there weren't millions of poor Caucasians in America. And I said, you've never in your life looked up the numbers on how many poor Caucasians are in America. You've never even looked it up. So how could you make a bold statement and say that there aren't millions of poor Caucasians in America? There are 333 million people in America, and you don't think it's millions of Caucasians, people that are poor? But that's not my point. My point was, you didn't even look it up to even validate your claim. You just made the claim, and 99% of our people will agree with this person because it sounds like it's true. This is how I know the LGBTQ community and us are going to be very instrumental in bringing in the Antichrist, because we are two groups of people, or well, the LGBTQP and us are two demographics in society that are the most vocal and flagrant, but it doesn't have to be backed by any truth or any facts. We'll go out and do all kind of crazy stuff off of a lie. So we're not prudent, we're not, calculated. We'll just go out off emotion and just do it. So we're going to be very instrumental in ushering in the Antichrist. So can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? I'm hearing no sound. Can you all hear me? I know YouTube can hear me. Can you all hear me on IG? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Just let me know. Can you all hear me? Okay, it's back. Okay, so, but the media can't cover defeat the mandates because it's a unifier. And what you all will find is that anything that unifies the people is actually the threat to the system. So you can go on CNN right now and talk for an hour about how America's racist, and nothing will happen. Matter of fact, you might get an endorsement. But if you go on CNN and talk about how America is not racist, you're going to get canceled. You're going to get banned for hate speech. You're missing from so that should let you know right there that the system, there's no way the system would allow you to talk about the system. So if the system is allowing you to talk about the system, then clearly what you're talking about the system isn't really about the system. Right. Someone said allowing yourself to be referred to as black literally means you don't know who you are. Exactly. And the problem, so I did another video, the live I did, and in the video, the problem is most black people have an emotional attachment to black. So it's not really a factual attachment. It's not really a truthful attachment. It's an emotional attachment, much like a child has an attachment to a pacifier. So our people, so blackness is a pacifier for our people. Because what happens is, and most of us don't experience the stuff we complain about. Like most of us aren't brutalized by the police. Most of us aren't killed by the police. None of us have ever been denied the right to vote. So most of our emotions and feelings about things come from what somebody has programmed us to feel. This is why in the Bible, the Most High never asked anybody how they felt. Why do you think that God never asked anybody how they felt in the Bible? God never came to anybody and said, tell me how you feel about this. You know why? Because the moment the Most High asks any of us how we feel, we're going to give him an excuse. The moment the Most High asks us how we feel, we are going to give an excuse. So what I'm telling you is most of our feelings that we have aren't really real feelings. They're not. They're implanted emotions. They're programs input in us. We've never been enslaved. So how could you identify with a slave? You identify with slavery through watching movies and television shows and seeing imagery. You've never been a slave. You don't know what the daily life of a slave is. But there is actual slavery going on today. It's slavery going on today in Africa, in China, in the Middle East. They know how slavery feels in actual real time. So you got to ask yourself, why are we talking about slavery that's from hundreds of years ago, and there are folks enslaved currently now. We don't even mention them. That should let you know that it's all propaganda, because when it's real, it crosses over all lines. When it's real, it crosses over all lines. So when it's real, everybody's offended. When it's real, everybody's sad. When it's real, everybody's upset. When it's fake, certain people are offended. Certain people are upset. Certain people are angry. Because that's the way the system keeps you divided. So the system knows if I show the people this, it's going to get this demographic upset. And when I talk about, I'm going to post a video of somebody, a person that follows me on Instagram, made a compilation video. And the guy, Jesse Peterson, comes out talking about how there is no, the guy, Jesse Peterson, comes out talking about how there's no racism. But I was talking with somebody, if you think about it, if the mandates could bring people together, then how could there actually be racism? Just think about it for a second. You've seen more unity behind this jab than you've seen on any other issue. So how could something that got introduced just last year cross over color? How could a jab do something that your politicians couldn't do, that your religious leaders couldn't do, that your educators couldn't do, how is it that the jab brought more folks together than anybody else in history has been able to do? I'll tell you, because it was fake. It was fake before. Now it's real. All of it was fake. What's funny to me is how we pick and choose what's real out of the matrix and what's not. And the funny thing is, once you pull that plug out, 110% of it was fake. Once that plug goes out, 110% of it was fake. That's why in the Matrix, Morpheus trying to tell Neo that it's a computer program. So even the computer program has to abide by certain rules, just like the system. The system itself has to abide by certain rules. The system does. But he's telling Neo, you don't have those same rules because you know that the system is fake. So once you know that it's fake, now you can manipulate it. The programs, the computer programs, don't know anything other than being a program. So it's funny that the Matrix itself, it was reality for the computer programs. That was real for them. For the people outside of the Matrix, it was fake to them. So you had two opposing views. And the real fight was the computer programs were actually clinging on to the false reality. It wasn't the people. It was the computer programs actually clinging on to the false reality. Then you had Agent Smith, and Agent Smith realized that it was all fake. When Neo went inside Agent Smith was allowed to see what Neo saw. And Agent Smith realized, hey, this is all fake. I was a prisoner. That's why he said, Neo, you freed me. Go back and watch The Matrix. Not the first one. I mean, not the second one. Not Revelations or Revolutions or whatever other ones was. And then this last one, the first one. Because the first one has the best script. The first one has the best dialogue. And he said, I'm sorry. In the second one, he tells Neo that he freed him. But the first one was all about you realizing the system is not real, and then you going into the system and you manipulating it. And so in the second one, Agent Smith said, Neo, you freed me. Neo, you freed me. But he freed him because let him know that this is not reality. And for a computer program, that computer world is reality. And once Agent Smith realized it wasn't reality, now he wanted to destroy it. So what I'm telling you all is that once the people realize that all this stuff is fake, they're going to want to destroy it. That's why they have to get you to be a transhuman. That's why they got to get you to have the microchips in your body so you can't have free will and thought. That's the whole purpose. The whole purpose of it is for you, when you realize the truth, to not be able to do anything about it. Just think about when they used to lobotomize people. How many folks that they lobotomized were actually crazy? How many folks did they lobotomize were actually just telling the truth? And they lobotomized them so they couldn't tell the truth. It makes you wonder how many people that were lobotomized because they were telling the truth. It just makes you wonder. And so this defeat the mandates, what I saw was the future. And the unifier is freedom. We're talking about freedom. That's the threat to the system. Because the system doesn't want us to have free will. Because free will comes from the Most High. Because God believes in free will. Even the angels have choice. Think about that. Even the angels have choice. Everybody has a choice. That's what makes God God, though. Lobotomize, where they basically make you like a vegetable, make you almost brain dead. Like you can't really, they go inside your brain and chip and do all, and now you just basically, you can't really, basically making you brain dead. But the purpose to me, the lobotomy was to get people that were telling the truth to not tell the truth. And now we fast forward and they use the same tactics. You can just look on social media. Somebody told me about Defeat the Mandates, the perfect drug. She told me about it because she lives in the DC area, but she told me I should come down there to the event. And listen, I thought it was great because again, everybody that was down there, well, hold on, Katie. Lobotomies were happening a long time ago. I'm pretty sure now they have different methods through poisoning the food, through folks getting these microchips, through folks getting these jabs. So I'm pretty sure now they don't actually have to do a lobotomy. They can just fry your brain through mass media. If you think about it, the average person doesn't know anything but what the media tells them. Like most folks don't look at alternative news sources because mainstream media says antidepressants, exactly, all these drugs, but the mainstream media tells people that if you go to an outside source, you're either racist or a conspiracy theorist. So most people are cowards, and they're not going to go against not being accepted in public. Like, most folks, a lot of folks got the jab just for social acceptance. Like they didn't want to be labeled a Trump supporter, even though Trump supports the jab. Like they didn't want to be labeled a conspiracy theorist. Like they didn't want to be labeled any of these things. So they literally got the jab to be accepted in social settings. But it lets you know how powerful, what's up, Britt? How powerful the mark of the beast is going to be. Because if folks are folding to this, we can only imagine what they'll do for the mark of the beast. And I thank you all for coming over here. To He Is Free Blanche to watch this live. So what I got to do is I just got to go live from this until my other live is activated again. But, labeled with a toe tag. Yeah, so at the end of the day, now the movement is organic. Now we have an organic movement. Now we have a movement where it crosses over all lines. And what you all got to realize is that things that make everybody upset, they're not going to show you. Like if they got on TV and said, oh, 5G is doing this, everybody would get upset. If they said, oh, chemtrails are doing this, everybody would get upset. If they got on TV and said, oh, this in your food is doing this, everybody would get upset. So anything that gets everybody upset, they're not going to do it. They're not going to show it. So it should let you know that, and I have a video that I'm going to post about racism, and folks going to be upset. But I'm only saying this for this reason. Most of what people talk about when it comes to racism isn't actually factually or truthfully based in that individual's life. It's just not. Like in that person's personal life, what they're crying and complaining about doesn't exist. It just doesn't. I remember one person told me that the cops are racist, and I said, why? He said because he and his friends got pulled over, and the police made them get out the car and stand in the rain. And I said, okay, why'd the police do that? He said, because we were in the back seat laughing. Why were y'all laughing? If y'all got pulled over by the police, nothing should have been funny. So I imagine he had to been saying something to make y'all laugh. So what made y'all laugh? He didn't want to tell me. I said, exactly. I said, so when the police pull you over, it's not the time for you to start cracking jokes and, you know, start talking crazy, start being belligerent. It's not the time then when you get pulled over. See, what y'all want to do is y'all want to get pulled over, and because you got pulled over, you don't care that something was actually wrong, because he even admitted that something was actually, the tail lights were actually out in the car and the person driving was Caucasian. I said, but y'all in there cracking jokes, thinking because y'all are in the back seat that y'all are out of harm's way. I said, so what y'all did was y'all said, okay, we gon' hide behind the fact that we aren't actually driving. And I said, and the police made y'all get out, and he should have, because y'all being disrespectful. Y'all are being disrespectful. And I said, what you all feel like is that you don't have to respect the police because you think they're racist. Even though they have a badge, even though they have a gun, even though they have the law, you feel like you don't have to respect them because you feel like they're racist. You don't know if they're racist, you just feel like it. So now the powers that be know I can get these people to move to action off of a feeling. That is a problem. That's a huge problem. Most of these liberals don't even know that Trump is endorsing the jab. These liberals are still saying that anti-vax is with Trump. Like, I'm like, they don't even know. You know why? Because the mainstream media isn't telling you all that Trump is supporting the jab. Why would they? Why would they tell you that? And so I was at the event, and it was funny because there was a guy there with a bullhorn, and he was saying that, he was like, nah, 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 nah. He was like, I have a boyfriend. Then he was like, and I'm pregnant. God, that was his protest chant. I got a boyfriend and I'm pregnant. That was his chant. That was his protest against defeat the mandates. So just imagine what type of tool the LGBTQ community is going to be in these last days. And not just them, even us. Our people are still supporting Black Lives Matter. Like, our people are still supporting Black Lives Matter, even though they've been exposed. So if we are still supporting Black Lives Matter, even though they've been exposed, could it really be about racism? Like, Black Lives Matter is literally a pro-trans, anti-heterosexual man organization. Black Lives Matter is literally an anti-family organization, an anti-traditional nuclear family organization, and we still support it. So how can I get mad at the KKK when we literally support something that has caused more damage than the KKK? Black Lives Matter has caused more damage because Black Lives Matter speaks for 40-something million melanated people in America. So they have way more power and influence than the KKK could have ever had on our people. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter can literally say, we are anti-family, anti-heterosexual man, and pro-trans, and we still support them. That's crazy. I can't, like, that's crazy. Yes, you're right, Britt. That's the ultimate goal, is transhumanism. Transhumanism is the ultimate goal. So what folks don't realize is that, imagine each sector of society being a step. Imagine each segment of society being a step. Imagine a pyramid leading up to the Antichrist. Imagine a pyramid leading up to the Antichrist. So imagine you have this group down here are the poorest of the poor, right? The weak. Then it's like you got the women. You know, then you got the people of color. Then you got the gays. Then you got the transgenders. Then you got the whatever they got next, something to do with health. Then you got the transhumanism. Then you got the mark of the beast. So you notice that society has gone into stages. Society has gone through stages. And in those stages, let me say that again, in those stages, you done went from the poorest of the poor to the women, to the melanated people of any land, indigenous, to the gays, to the trans, to the transhumanism, to the mark of the beast. All of it's been a stepping stone. All of it's been a progression. Every segment of society has just been a step. And it all led up to the Antichrist. All of it. So that means they just used every single group throughout history to achieve their goal. So I keep asking my people, what makes you think that racism isn't a part of it? Because most of us are not experiencing what we claim to be upset about. We're just not. None of you all have ever been, nobody's ever told you that you can't work here or go here because of the way you look. Now they have told you you can't go here or work here based on not getting that jab. They've told you that. They have not told you that you couldn't do it based on the way you look. And you know how we know that's true? Do you know how we know that's true? We know it's true because when they threatened to do it to you, you said, give me the shot. We know it's true because when they threatened to do it to you, you all said, give me the shot. Just think for a second. If what we are saying is true about how racist America is, there's no way we'd be going along with these mandates. Because we would have said, we've been going through this whole time. But this lets you know we haven't been going through it. Because if we were, we would have told the government, no. We would have told Big Pharma, no. We'd have told Big Tech, no. We would have said, what y'all are threatening us with, we're already going through. We would have told the unholy trinity of Big Pharma, Big Tech, and Big Government, we would have told them what we are experiencing right now is the same thing that you all are threatening us with. So we're not going to move. We're going to hold the line. But the fact that we didn't lets you know that we aren't really experiencing the stuff we're upset about. We're not really experiencing it. Because if anybody should have been going against these mandates, if anybody should have been going against these mandates, it should have been our people. Because we claim to be still in slavery, literally. So we should have been against all of it, but we weren't. We were actually the ones pushing it. So I just want to say that defeat the mandates, and I'm gonna post videos about, my experience there. But it's basically about freedom, and it's about all these groups coming together. Somebody mentioned on Instagram the Tower of Babel. Yeah, they wanted to build a Tower of Babel to do what? To go up to war against the Most High. They wanted to go and challenge the Most High. Same with the mark of the beast. Same with the Antichrist. Same with transhumanism. Same thing. It's all an attempt to wage war against the Most High, because their goal is, in the end, when Yeshua or Yahusha returns, it's going to be an all-out war. And so they're preparing for war. So they're telling you, on this hand, none of it's real, but then they're also preparing for war. But the funny thing is, they're telling you that all this stuff is fake. There's no Messiah. But then they're going to come back and tell you that, oh, it wasn't fake. This guy's the real Messiah. Everything they've been doing up until this point has gotten us to this point in time right here, where they're going to say, choose Satan or the Most High. This is what, but even with abortion, they're going to have it in the future, because us, women aborting their children isn't actually good enough. What they want is for your child to come out of your womb and then you abort the child. That's what they want. Because you can abort the fetus out of ignorance, right? You got folks telling you it's not really a real, but you can be manipulated into getting an abortion. You know what I mean? Right? But when the child comes out, though, that's not manipulation. You see it. That's why the Democrats are pushing for full-term abortions. That's why Obama said, even if the child survives abortion and comes out, terminate it. Obama, our savior. I can already tell you all right now, we're already prepared. We're already prepared to receive the Antichrist. We're already prepared to receive the Antichrist. Now, 3/4 Yeezus, you on this page now. So you remember what happened last time. So I'm just letting you know. 3/4 Yeezus, you've been put on notice. You remember what happened last time. I hope you changed your ways. Now, but they want full-term abortion because they want you to know full and well what you are doing. Just like with the mark of the beast, you're going to know it's the mark of the beast. You're just going to say something. You're going to tell people like me, oh, it's really a good thing. It's really this. They lied to us about this and all this. You feel what I'm saying? So everything they've been doing is in preparation to get us to be in complete violation with the Most High. That's why the mark of the beast is going to violate all 10 of the commandments. All 10 of them. The mark of the beast is going to violate all 10 of the commandments forever. Once you get the mark of the beast, you'll never not violate the 10 commandments. You'll be in constant violation of them. So this whole defeat the mandates thing was about freedom. And what the powers that be know is that if people don't believe in freedom, they don't believe in God. And that's basically why our people are so godless now. My community, my people, is because we don't actually believe in freedom. We don't actually believe in it. We believe in looking good. We believe in listening to white liberals. You know, we believe in, but we don't actually believe in freedom, because with freedom comes responsibility. With freedom becomes accountability. That's why we don't actually believe in freedom, because there's no way somebody telling you that you can't go into an establishment if you don't show your papers not be offensive if you believed in freedom. That's like offensive. When I was in DC, I go in there and to the restaurant, and we went in there, and I'm there at the front, and the person asked for, well, the perfect drug. She went to the restroom. I went to the front, and it's funny because we actually supported what you call a black-owned business. We actually supported black-owned business. But we get in there, she asked to use the restroom, the girl says, okay. I stay there, she says, can I get your ID? And I'm thinking it's kind of weird, but I'm thinking, well, maybe they carding because it is Saturday, and I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it's they're carding because, I don't know, it was Saturday night, I don't know. But then she was like, but I still thought it was strange because it's a restaurant, and like it's like a restaurant / bar. It's like it's not, I don't know. But then she asked for the JAB passport. And I was like, okay, think about it now. She got my ID in her hand. Well, I'm not using 2 accounts. I just got, I'm going live from this account. I'm not using 2 accounts though. I'm just going live from, well, I'm talking on YouTube though. But she kept my ID in her hand, and she's like, do you have your JAB passport? And I said, no, we don't have no JAB passport. Of course not. I'm thinking she gonna let us in anyway. I'm just not thinking that my people are gonna actually deny me service in this restaurant. Like, I'm just assuming she gonna let me go and sit down, because we didn't look at the menu. We like, okay, you know, all that. We've been running around all day trying to, you know, prepare for Sunday. And, but anyway, and shout out to Tamira and Erica for helping with the whole filming. Erica organized it, and Tamira was doing most of the filming, and they were doing the interviews and stuff. And I got to thank them so much because we got some great footage. And they really worked hard, man. I'm talking about from like 11 to 5. I'm talking about straight working. And, you know, I wish I could have paid them, you know, but yeah, it's just crazy. But shout out to them for doing that. I'm going to tag them in this live video. But anyway, so forgot what I was saying. But okay, so I'm just thinking they're gonna let me sit down. I haven't posted my footage yet, but I have to edit it because I gotta edit it because the mic was picking up the wind on some of the clips, so I gotta edit a lot of it. But I mean, I got some great content though. But this young lady said, I can't let you in. I was like, I can't eat here? She was like, nope. I said, you mean to tell me I can't eat here because I don't have a vaccine passport? She was like, yes. Now keep in mind, the security guard was outside smoking a blunt. So the security guard outside smoking a blunt on his phone, chilling, when we walk in, he didn't even look at us. So clearly it wasn't a thorough process of nothing. All they wanted was, did I have that JAB passport? I could have had a weapon. Do you have that JAB passport? So what I saw last year was, I saw that they were changing the standards. They were changing the standards of righteousness and character. So they were saying if you wore a mask, you were a good person. If you got the jab, you're a good person. If you don't do those two things, you're not. You see, so now they just gotten rid of actual character and actually being righteous. So now you can see how they're preparing society for this mark of the beast. As Britt says, this Satan DNA. Because really, what the mark of the beast, I believe it will be, is they're going to alter your carbon. So they're going to make you something that is totally a total abomination to the Most High. You will not be human anymore. You'll even have special abilities. You'll have special gifts. You'll have special powers. You won't be able to die. And you'll be an abomination to the Most High. Same with transhumanism. Same with this jab. You know, so at the end of the day, our people are going to be the ones at the forefront of ushering in the Antichrist. This is why I believe that the Antichrist is going to look like us. I do. And the Bible says that he will have no want from a woman. So that means he'll be a part of the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. So what am I saying? Like I said earlier, the two groups that are going to push this movement leading us to the Antichrist is going to be the black community and the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. Those communities will usher in the Antichrist. I can see it because those communities are moved to action based on lies. They don't care about the truth. So if they don't care about the truth, then you can pretty much say anything to them and they're gonna go. So just like last year, they showed us some things on TV and we went crazy. Nobody ever thought to think that if George Floyd, I said, think about this. George Floyd's murder was filmed for like 8 straight minutes, right? They just showed it. Just showed it for 8 minutes. Why? Why 8 minutes? Why 8 minutes? I would love to see the studies on how long does it take for a person to elicit an emotional response when watching something. How long does it take for you watching something? What's the time frame from watching something from the beginning to where it becomes a belief system by the end? And I guarantee it's 8 minutes. I guarantee it's 8 minutes. Somebody said the girl that filmed it got an award. The girl that filmed it got an award. And you don't think it's a setup? Oh, okay, I get it. So let me get it. So the death is real, but everything else around it is fake. Now, you know he didn't die from suffocation, right? You know that, right? You know the knee to the back of the neck doesn't cut off your windpipe. How do we know this? Because he was talking. So you know he didn't die from his oxygen being cut off because he was talking. We know that, right? We at least know that. We know that if you're talking, you can't be choking. I just watched the MMA fight with two women fighting, and I knew the girl had passed out because she had stopped trying to get out of the chokehold. She couldn't even tap out. She was done. So the ref had to look and say, oh, she out. Because she went from trying to get out of it to just not moving. So we do know it only takes 8 seconds. 8 seconds if I put you in a yoke for you to lose consciousness. It don't take long. It's about 8 seconds. Get you in that yoke, you done. So we know that the knee on the neck wouldn't have took as long as it took in real life. Okay, so just bring y'all here with me. So the reason he died wasn't because of the knee to the back of the neck. He was high on a substance that if you look it up, it causes what? Cardiac arrest, that fentanyl. That fentanyl causes cardiac arrest. So you see, when we start digging, we see that restraint that the police use with the knee to the back of the neck, that is an actual police restraint. That's actually in their manual, right? And keep in mind, other races of people get killed by the police, but they only show you one group getting killed by the police. Other people, there are families mourning. I'm not on Spotify with my music, but not anything else. But there are families in mourning of other races behind people being killed by the police. It's families that have won money behind it. They get no representation. But they show you George Floyd for 8 minutes and something odd seconds. Then they show it to you over and over and over and over and over and over again. Then Dave Chappelle does a special about it. Get your hearts all into it. But nobody ever stopped to think that, you know what? This might not be real. So I said, let me go look at what happened prior to this knee on the back of the neck. And Britt even says that the knee was on the back of the shoulder blades. I've seen people reenact knee to the back of the neck and not one of them passed out. I've seen people literally knee on back of the neck, large person to small person, and they was able to talk through the whole video. So what you all don't want to look at is the fact that maybe, just maybe, if George Floyd's death was able to spark worldwide protests, then maybe, just maybe, it was kind of staged. Because we got to believe that the system itself couldn't withstand actual worldwide protests in reality. Like, there are folks protesting these right now around the world, and you don't even see it. But when it came to George Floyd, they showed you the entire planet doing it. So why would they show you George Floyd's protests, but not these? Because your main airway, thank you, Britt. Britt is on here being a lovely professor. Because your main airway is in the front of your throat, not the back of your neck. This is first grade level science. It's first grade level science. The man was yelling. And then the funny thing is, they said he yelled out mama. How can you yell out mama if you're being choked? Isn't it like a bad Tyler Perry movie? Mama! Isn't this a bad black film? Mama! I'm just saying. There's a scene in Captain America, the first one, where he runs in Times Square, and then behind him, on his shirt, there's a tattoo similar to the tattoo that George Floyd had on his chest, on his shirt. There's a picture of the coronavirus in one of the pictures. There's another picture of a corona, like all this stuff is in this Captain America scene. You can go watch the movie and look it up. It's all in the Captain America scene. There's another scene in Batman where he says, I don't want to wear a mask to hide my face. He said, no, we wear the mask to protect the ones we love. And then he pulls out a bomb that looks just like the Peter pandemic virus Batman in the Batman movie, the last one. The last one. So what I'm saying is, maybe, just maybe, just maybe, the George Floyd thing wasn't real. Maybe it wasn't real. I watched the video 30 minutes prior. They even made the young man that called the police over the counterfeit 20, they even made him feel bad about calling the police. But he has to call the police because his job is at stake. I saw people saying, why he called the I'm like, because he working for some people that don't care about racism. Them immigrants. You see, immigrants don't care about racism. So if you accepting fake counterfeit money, you finna get fired. Because they're gonna feel like you in on it. So maybe, just maybe, the George Floyd thing wasn't real. Think about it. They got on TV and said the protests, the George Floyd protests, aren't spreading the virus. They said that the protests, the George Floyd protests, were not spreading the virus. So you mean to tell me I can spread the virus being 6 feet apart from someone with a mask on outside, and the folks protesting, hugging and kissing in the name of fighting against racism, face to face crying at these protests, not spreading the virus? So maybe, just maybe, the whole George Floyd thing was a setup. Just maybe. Just maybe. Maybe if we watched the video prior to the knee thing, we could see that George Floyd was high. High as a kite. They used to say high as Cooter Brown. So he was high. But there's one telling part of the video, and that's the old man talking. And that's the old man talking. That old man said, listen, just do what they say. Just get in the car. Then that old man said something that was so profound. He said, man, you're going to give yourself a heart attack. The old man said, you're going to give yourself a heart attack. You know why? Because that old man knew that he was high as a kite. That old man knew he was on some type of drug. And he kept telling him to calm down and just get in the car. And George Floyd was saying, I can't breathe, before he ever got on the ground. Before he ever got on the ground, he was saying, I couldn't breathe. He was saying he couldn't breathe outside of on the other side of the cop car. So what am I saying? I'm saying, hold on. There was an attorney that came out and stated that George Floyd died 3 years prior to this incident. He was his guardian ad litem. I don't know. Breonna Taylor. I did a video of Breonna Taylor. Same thing. I did a video of Breonna Taylor, and I showed footage of the boyfriend who said that she shot at the police. I even had somebody apologize to me after they watched that video. The person came to me and said, listen, man, I thought you were a sellout. He said, I thought you were a coon. He said that video opened my eyes. That's what he said. Somebody even said, the real ISO said even Trayvon Martin and Breonna Taylor. Yeah. Yeah. Think about it. Black Lives Matter, the most destructive organization in our lifetime, in our history, was founded off of Trayvon Martin's death. Do you think maybe a piece of it could have been a setup? Because there was a Black Lives Matter before Black Lives Matter Global Network. And it was started by a man from our community because his wife's ex-husband had gotten killed by the police. And so his goal was to unify, make a bridge between the police and the citizens. That was the first Black Lives Matter organization that was started back in 2013. Yeah, folks don't know about that. And Black Lives Matter threatened to sue him because during the protests of 2020, people were sending him millions of dollars. And he said he was sending the money right back. And BLM said, if you cash one check, we're going to destroy you. He didn't take no money from them. Trayvon Martin dad, Freemason. George Zimmerman, Freemason. So all I'm saying is this, you all. If these events are happening and they're leading to bigger things, what makes you think they're actually organic or movements or things that are happening? That's all I'm saying. Like, what makes you think like this, these mandates, you know this is real because the media won't cover it. That's how you know it's real. The media won't show it to you. They'll get on TV and say, oh, they're Trump supporters and they're anti-jab. But they won't show it to you. They won't show you that it's 35,000 people. When have y'all seen 35,000 people gather telling the world the system is corrupt? When have y'all seen, and not the fake system, the real system? Not the BLM system, the real system. That's right, Pump Daddy. It's a setup. All I'm saying is Trayvon Martin, scratch that. Rodney King. This is 1990. Who has their cameras? Think about the cameras in 1990. That's them big cameras like this in 1990. It's the big cameras, the big ones, the ones in the shoulder cameras. Who had their camera set up perfectly out the window, filming across the street at 3 in the morning? Who had their camera perfectly set up, perfectly facing the Rodney King situation, already adjusted, ready to go, on a tripod, recorded? Who? What would make somebody have their camera on in 1990 at 3 in the morning, facing outside of a window? To show what? Yeah, Trayvon, that we talked about on Instagram. Trayvon, father, Freemason. They said Zimmerman a Freemason. All of them Masons. Farrakhan is a Mason. All of them are Masons. MLK. The one pastor, I think his name is Pastor, I forgot the pastor's name, but he even said he moved out the way so the folks can get a clear shot to shoot King. He even said it. He said, I moved out the way so they can get a clear shot. He said it. And you should have heard the crowd, they gasped. He said it. So that means the King assassination, Malcolm X assassination, the CIA was involved in that, the guy, all that. Malcolm X, now think about it. Yes. Pum Daddy said, the famous picture, everybody's pointing where the shot came from, but nobody's ducking. Nobody's shooting back. Just think about, think about it. But all this stuff works because they have to get you emotionally bought into it. So when I talk about being black, there's an emotional attachment to the construct. Otherwise, it doesn't work. That's why when people of other countries come over here and they look kind of like you, they don't have the same mindset you because they don't have an emotional attachment to being black. They have an emotional attachment to being from Cameroon. They have an emotional attachment of being from the Philippines. They have an emotional attachment for being from Australia or South America, but they'll have an emotional attachment to being black. So when they come over here, they don't have the same attachment to it. So when they watch a movie, they don't feel like it's them. We watched Roots and felt like it was us. Remember what I said? They showed us Roots for a week. How long does it take to get somebody's mind to make it go from entertainment or something that you're watching to an actual belief? So if you're watching Roots every night, by the time it's done, you're going to believe you was a slave. You're going to believe you was a slave. So we have all these people that were murdered. JFK. 2 bullets. They said in court it was they said the bullet like hit his wrist and traveled up his arm and through his body and then hit some, like, it's absolutely insane to how they say Kennedy died. But they can do this because white people were emotionally attached to what? American government and John F. Kennedy. So there's no way they believe the government would have did it. And Kennedy was a hero. So their emotions blinded them from the fact that he got shot from 2 different ways. His wife was holding his brains in her hand, blew his head off. So what I'm saying is maybe, just maybe, the George Floyd, the Sandra Bland, the Trayvon Martin, the Breonna Taylor, it's all fake. And I know you're saying to yourself, Bland, how could it be fake? We saw it. But we all know, living long enough, we all know that seeing is not believing. We all know that seeing is not believing. We know this. How do we know this? Because even when we saw certain things, we didn't believe it. Even when we saw certain things, we did not believe it. Seeing is not believing. And the powers that be know that. Seeing has never been believing. Because anytime we've seen things, that's how they're able to hide things in plain sight. They're able to hide things in plain sight because they know that seeing is not believing. So they can show it to you and you still won't believe it. Just like the Jews call themselves Jewish. And to be a ish, I-H-I-S-H, is to be like or resemble, but to not be fully. They say they're Jewish. So they're telling you, we're not fully Jewish. You got to ask yourself, okay, then who's fully Jewish? If they're telling you in the name, we're Jewish, means we're like unto, but not fully, then you got to ask yourself, well, then who is the full Jew? But guess what? They're telling you they're Jewish because they became a nationality in 1948 and they turned a religion into a nationality in 1948. So who was the Jew before 1948? But they're telling you this stuff every single day. They're showing it to you. It's a part of history. You see it, but you don't believe it. That's why seeing is not believing, because they put this stuff in our face every single day. So you say they're a wandering tribe, but the people calling themselves Jews are saying they're Jewish. And they made their religion a nationality. So you got to ask yourself, where they get the religion from? If someone said, has someone ever said they were Chinese-ish? I'm Philippine-ish. I'm Mexican-ish. I'm Bolivian-ish. I'm Australian-ish. No one says that. They have a show that's called Blackish. And the show is literally about being kind of black. Not really black, but kind of black. Like a show called Grownish. You grown, but you're not really grown. You're not fully grown, and you're not fully black. That's why you say blackish and grownish. So what I'm telling you all is, they put stuff in plain sight every day, so seeing is not believing. And right, then they mock you with it. We get mocked. They mock us with putting this stuff in our face. Seeing is not believing. So maybe, just maybe, everything we've been shown up until this point has been a lie. Now, clearly, these past 2 years, 99% of what we've seen is a lie. We could, if it wasn't before, we can all agree that 2020 to now, it's all been fake. And you know what's crazy? It's all been overtly fake because people have woken up or been awakened. So now they have to make it be more obvious, and now they ain't even hiding no more. They're just issuing out punishments. You see, in the future, what these folks don't realize, they got this jab and do all this stuff, they're going to tell them in the future, we're sorry to inform you, but because you put this into your body, you're going to perish unless you put this in your body. So basically, you're going to need them to live, which is what they want. They want you at their mercy. They want you at their mercy. So, yeah, kind of black. But the whole thing is, right. So what we see is the devil's always going to give you what you want and then torture you with your choice. The devil is going to always give you what you want, and then he's going to torture you with the choice that you made. So all of these people choosing this stuff, there's going to be a consequence. Somebody said Benjamin Crump is an ambulance chaser. He handled all the cases. He's a Mason. It's all lie. It's a setup. None of that stuff is real. So when I hear people talking, I can tell they're lost just based on what they're saying. I was talking with one guy in D.C. and he was sounding good till he said January the 6th. And I said, shoot. All is lost. Let me ask you all a question about January the 6th. Have you ever seen an insurrection where the people that was doing the insurrection had their cell phones out? Have you ever seen an insurrection where the folks that were insurrecting did it while putting themselves on social media? I'm just telling you all, but my point is, the Defeat the Mandates event was a great event, and I enjoyed it, and it really showed me what the future is going to be. The future will be about the fight for humanity, and so a lot of our people are going to be a part of it. They're actually going to be fighting against it, and it's just sad to say, but agreement and compliance are the same. You're right. If you comply or agree, it's the same thing. So when they show you something on TV and you all don't reject it, because according to natural law, silence is consent. So if somebody, because we use our mouth, our words, to give our stance to the universe, to the world. We give our mouths are used to what? To proclaim. Our mouths are used, think about it, your word is your bond. You take up an oath. You always have to speak to affirm and confirm things in this world. So when a person doesn't speak, it's agreeing and it's consenting and it's compliance. So there are a lot of people that are silent about what's going on now, right? Those are the same people that are going to get the stuff later on down the pipe. They're going to do it. Because there's no way you could have endured this for 2 years, going on 3 years, and still remain silent. There's no way. Now, the MAG pastors are Freemasons. Most pastors are Freemasons. Yeah. Somebody said they're going to be in the metaverse, right? But someone said on here, they said that they were not smart for running up into the building. You're 100% correct. Because they should have knew it was a setup when the police opened the gates. They should have knew it was a setup when the police opened the door. They should have knew it was a setup when they ran into that building and it was a camera crew already set up. They should have knew it was a setup. When they went to that building, if the police didn't tip them off, letting them in, telling them to come on in, if that didn't tip them off, if none of that tipped them off, when they ran in there and they saw them cameramen set up, they should have knew this is a setup. Which leads me to believe that most of the people that went inside the Capitol weren't actually Trump supporters. Most of the people that went inside that building weren't a part of the election fraud movement. The folks that went up in that building were the same people that want you to believe that the Rodney King, George Floyd, and all that stuff was real. Those were paid actors, paid agitators going into that building. It wasn't the Trump supporters. But again, if they show it to you over and over again, and somebody got a Trump hat on, there was even a Capitol police officer that put a Trump hat on. What does that even mean? It was a setup. It was a bunch of bad actors that ran into that building with Trump stuff on. And they know the mass media would, or the mass audience of mass media would never believe that someone could put on an outfit and commit a crime. There was someone from Black Lives Matter in there filming. He got caught. Antifa was in there. It was all kind of agitators there. So, really, that's why I said this movement now, this Defeat the Mandates movement, is a little more intelligent. They aren't about running up and protesting and all that. They're about intelligence. They're about providing science. They're about knowing the law. They're about knowing their human rights. They're about evidence and facts. This movement is a little bit smarter than the Capitol, against the voter fraud protests. These folks are a little more savvy than that. These folks gonna put you in court. They're not finna run up in, they're gonna put you in court. So, yeah. So, but my point is, the media didn't show you the Defeat the Mandates protests, but the media showed you George Floyd. The media didn't show you Defeat the Mandates, but they showed you Rodney King. The media didn't show you the Defeat the Mandate protests, but they showed you Sandra Bland, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor. They showed you all that, but they didn't show you this. They showed you January the 6th 1,000 times, but they didn't show you this. This event, the police were everywhere. Now, at the Capitol event, January 6th, the police were there, but didn't stop nothing. But at this event, the police were on every single corner, literally surrounding the entire event. The police were everywhere. So how could this event have more police presence than the January 6th insurrection? Make that make sense for me. Make that make sense. You said Canada is leading the Defeat the Mandates protest. Well, I don't know what Canada's doing. I know Canada gave their guns up. So I know Canada got a dictator as their leader. So I don't know how much Canada can do because Canada can't lead the country. So I don't really know what Canadians are actually doing. I know folks in Canada that want to leave and can't leave. So I don't know what Canada's actually doing because they can't leave. So, but again, my whole point in all this is that this Defeat the Mandates movement is going to be real, and the media is not going to cover it. The media is not showing you any global protests. The media is not showing you anything around the world. But these folks protesting this stuff is going on. They're not showing it to you for a reason. They're not showing it to you. Anybody got any questions? Anybody have any questions about what's going on? Oh, okay. You're saying turn up. Okay. But my whole point of all this is to say that maybe what you've seen your entire life on TV has been a lie. Maybe it's all been fake. But we can agree on one thing right now. If they don't put it on TV, it's real. If they don't, they showed you Kyle Rittenhouse's case, right? Every day, all day, but they didn't show you Ghislaine Maxwell's case. They showed you Kyle Rittenhouse's case, but not Ghislaine Maxwell. That tell you everything. You see, when it's real, they don't want you to see it. When it's real, they don't want you to see it. So all I can tell you all to do now is to prepare yourselves like the Truman Show. Exactly. Just like the Truman Show. But if you remember in the Truman Show, though, just remember, something kept telling him that something is not right. He's like, something ain't right. He looking like, nah. Some in his spirit is like, mm-mm. Remember when he left with his wife, he did something spontaneous and they went in the car? And there was a fire on the bridge. Like it like everything he avoided, when he got to the end, they made a fire, bunch of folks walking around. Like it was crazy. Like it literally is a real life Truman Show, even to the point where when he was sailing that ship and the ship sailed, what did it sail? It sailed to? His ship sailed to the end of the earth. Think about that. His ship sailed to the end of the earth. And then he walks up the stairs to heaven and he goes to meet God. The movie is symbolic because Truman finally realized the truth. Now, my boy Sewell Hollis said, there are things that can be true, but not the truth. There are things that can be true, but not the truth. So, is there racism in America? That is a true statement. But is America racist? That's not the truth. Something can be true, but not be the absolute truth. God is the truth. So certain things can be true, but God is the truth. So the Truman Show, he realized that everything was a lie. And you know what saved him? You know what actually saved the Truman Show or him? Is the fact that he didn't care about dying. Once he realized the truth, he didn't care about death. And that's the ultimate liberation. That's why God is the truth. Because once we know who God is, we no longer are supposed to fear death. That's what freed Truman up. He didn't care about dying. Now, I can go out there, throw caution to the wind, and take over. So that's the lesson for us in the Truman movie, is that we're not to be afraid of death. He went on that ship, tossing and turning. He almost drowned. He almost died, but he didn't care. You got to kill me. You got to kill me. I'm not quitting. That's what this is about. You see, in the future, before I go, it's going to be about life or death. Because the fight of good versus evil is a life or death fight. There's no gray area. The fight between good and evil is a life or death fight. Right, Britt? If you try to save your life, you will lose it. And most people are going to be enslaved to this system because they try to save their life. Not their actual life, but the life they had in 2019. And we all realize this all was a lie anyway. It's all been a lie. I got the perfect drug on here, and she told me to come out to DC to be a part of this event, and I'm glad she did, so I want to give her a shout out for even doing that. because I never would thought even go to DC, but she gave me a great sales pitch, and really she's like my publicist because she really made all this stuff possible for me to even talk to these people and just meet so many people and interview people. Like, so I want to give her a big shout out. Hopefully one day I'll be able to put her on the payroll. Hopefully, maybe one day. But yeah. So yeah, but saving their life was to have the life they had in 2019. And that's what most people got the jab for. It's 2019. It's crazy that 2019 is going to be most of these folks' demise. 2019 is going to be most of these people's demise. It is. Because they're making decisions based on their past and not their future. What does that sound like? Thank you, Mary. What does that sound like? A person making decisions based on their past and not their future. That sounds like Satan. Satan will bring up your past, not your future. Satan will bring up your past. And so we see that what Satan got us to do was Satan got the people to focus on 2019. Meanwhile, we in 2022 because they keep saying back to normal. Then they said the new normal. Pretty soon they're going to say great reset, transhuman. I'm telling you, the devil will give you what you want and then torture you with it. The devil will give you what you want and then torture you with it. That's why folks go to Hollywood and get all this fame and fortune, but they miserable. They're miserable. They're miserable. So what they got the people to do in this past 2 years was to abandon the Most High. I'm going to tell you right now, and back in March of 2020, when I saw the churches close, I said it's over. I said this back in 2020 of March. I said, when the churches shut on their own, the churches shut first on their own. I said, it's over. And now you see 99% of these pastors are doing what? Promoting the jab. That's right. We wasn't going back to normal. We was going right, Pum Daddy. We wasn't going back to normal. We was going back to the regular programming. We wasn't going back to normal. We have never seen normal. All we know is programming and conditioning. We've never actually seen normal. We've never seen normal. So, yes, the devil lives in the past because the devil is the accuser of his brethren. That means in order for you to be accused of something, it had to have been something you did in the what? In the past. So when the devil accuses, the devil is saying, I'm holding you to your past. God says, forget your past and become new. Matter of fact, in the Most High system, the Most High says, you can be born again. You can be made a new creature through Yeshua, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. You can be made a new creature. Why does God want you to be a new creature? God wants you to be a new creature because the average human being can't let go of their past. And Satan knows that, and God knows that. The average human being cannot let go of their past. This is why the Most High wants us to be a new creature, to be born again. That way, that old past doesn't apply to us anymore. You say you just got freed up? Because God wants you free. So if God wants you free, God has to do what? Clean your slate. How do we clean the slate? I'm born again. With the renewing of your mind. How do we get the mind renewed? The renewal of the mind is renewing a subscription, right? To what your mind should have been. To what your mind was first before you came down here. Because God knew us before we were in the womb. That means, and Jay-Z said in one of his songs, you was who you was before you got here. God said the same thing. I knew you before you was in your mama's womb. Which means renewing your mind means to get your mind back to when you knew God. The renewing of the mind is to get your mind back to when you knew God on a personal level. This is why all of this stuff is done, so that God has a personal relationship with us now. That's right, I set you apart, born again. The average human being ain't worried about God, but the average human being wants to live. The average human being wants to be happy. The average human being wants to know what's going on. So the average human being may not be thinking about God, but the average human being is thinking about the things of God. If that makes sense. The average human being believes in God. They just don't have to be accountable to God. Nobody has a problem with believing in God. Folks got a problem with being accountable to God. So, the reason why, again, that we are to be born again is so that we don't allow our past to condemn us. Because for most people, they can't let their past go. That's what has most people stuck. It's their past. They believe that my past, I'm forever chained to it, and the devil knows this. The devil is only going to bring up what you did, not what you're going to do. The devil will only bring up what you did, not what you're going to do. I love you all. I thank you all so much for tuning in. Instagram hated. They reported my comments, but I'll still stand on it still. I don't support child molesters. I'm sorry. So they can get mad all they want. And I'm not going to support the defense of child molesters either. So they can get mad. And the guy reported my video, reported the comment, and still wanted to have a dialogue. I had to block him. So what I'm going to do from now on, though, I'm just go live over here. I'm going to just put a post up and tell people I'll be going live on here until I'm off of restriction. And I'll just do a post. I'm going to make up a little post to do it. And I'll just post on my other page before I go live over here. YouTube, y'all have access to me already, so ain't no need to do all that. But I love you all. Thank y'all for coming over here and supporting me. And God bless y'all. Thank you.